Okay, so imagine this. You're right in the middle of something super important on your computer.
Uh-oh.
A huge deadline, a big presentation, and bam, your computer just crashes.
Total tech emergency.
It's a nightmare, right? And that's exactly what we're diving into today, Paragon PC Repair.
They're like the superheroes of the tech world.
Exactly. They're known for being a total lifesaver in these situations.
But they're so much more than just your typical computer repair shop.
Right, we dug deep for this one. We've got articles, testimonials, even some industry reports.
And we're going to break it all down for you.
Yeah, we're going to pull out all the important stuff you need to know about Paragon PC Repair.
So what's really interesting about Paragon is they've been around for over 20 years.
That's a long time in the tech world.
It is. They're not just some fly-by-night operation.
Mhm.
They've got a whole team of certified engineers.
So you know they know their stuff.
Exactly. And they're committed to excellence, like seriously committed.
And they've got some pretty unique services, too.
Oh, yeah. That's what I love about them.
Okay, so let's start with something that really jumped out at me. Their mobile repair service.
Oh, yeah. They're vans.
Yeah, they've got these branded vans that are like little tech labs on wheels.
They come right to your doorstep.
It's incredible. And think about how convenient that is for busy people.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not just individuals.
Right.
Think about businesses.
Especially ones that can't afford to be down for even a minute.
Exactly. If their tech goes down, they lose money.
So having Paragon come right to them is a game changer.
It totally is. In fact, one of the articles we found told a story about a small business owner who was freaking out because their main computer crashed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a disaster. But Paragon got there within 2 hours, got them back up and running.
They saved the day.
They did. But it's not just about speed right now.
And what else is there?
The testimonials we read, they all raved about Paragon's professionalism.
And how knowledgeable their engineers are.
It's like they're not just fixing your computer, they're educating you at the same time.
So you understand what happened and how to prevent it in the future. Exactly.
They're all about empowering their clients.
I love that. So it's like having your own dedicated IT department, but without the cost.
Exactly. You get all the expertise without the overhead.
Okay, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about how Paragon supports businesses in a broader sense.
So not just emergency repairs.
Right, more like their overall IT solutions, because it seems like they cover everything.
From setting up secure networks to providing ongoing support.
Basically taking care of all the tech headaches so business owners can focus on what they do best.
Yeah, and what's really cool is they don't just offer some generic package.
They really get to know each business.
That's right. They act like a true technology partner, working closely with each business to figure out exactly what they need.
And then they tailor solutions specific to that business.
We actually have a testimonial here from a business owner who had Paragon completely revamp their entire network.
Wow, it's a big job.
It was. And this business owner was blown away by how Paragon went above and beyond their expectations.
So they really exceeded expectations.
They sure did okay. But now let's get into something even more interesting.
Oh, I love this part.
Cybersecurity and penetration testing.
I think we all know how important cybersecurity is these days.
Absolutely. It's not something you can ignore anymore.
Right, but I think a lot of people are still confused about penetration testing.
What it is and why it's so valuable.
Exactly. So can you break it down for us?
Okay, so imagine someone is trying to break into your house.
Okay, I can picture that.
They're trying to find any weak spots in your security system.
So they can get in.
Exactly. Well, penetration testing is basically the same thing, but for your digital world.
So instead of someone trying to physically break in,
It's someone trying to hack into your computer systems
and Paragon simulates this attack to find vulnerabilities.
right before the bad guys can actually exploit them.
So it's a proactive approach to security.
It is, and it's becoming more and more essential for businesses of all sizes.
So they're like ethical hackers.
Haha. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
They're helping businesses find and fix their weaknesses before any real damage can be done.
Exactly. They're trying to stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
And we actually found a story about a customer who was initially skeptical about penetration testing.
They didn't see the value.
Yeah, they thought it was unnecessary, but Paragon ended up discovering some serious vulnerabilities.
Things that this customer never would have found on their own.
So it really opened their eyes to the importance of this type of testing.
It did. And, Paragon doesn't just do penetration testing.
They offer a whole suite of cybersecurity services.
They do. They can set up firewalls.
Yeah.
Implement threat monitoring systems.
And even provide training for employees.
Right, because humans are often the weakest link.
So they make sure everyone is up to speed on best practices for staying safe online.
But here's what's really impressive. They're not just reacting to current threats.
They're constantly looking ahead.
They're researching and developing new strategies to stay ahead of emerging cyber threats.
So they're always one step ahead.
They try to be okay. So we've established that they've got the technical chops.
They definitely know their stuff.
But there's something else that really comes through in everything we've read about them.
What's that?
Their focus on the customer.
Oh, yeah. They seem genuinely committed to providing excellent service.
And not just to big corporations either.
They're equally dedicated to serving individuals and small businesses,
Making sure that everyone has access to quality tech support.
regardless of their budget or their level of tech expertise.
Absolutely. In fact, there's a testimonial we came across from a customer who described themselves as non-tech savvy.
Not a tech person at all.
And they were so grateful for how Paragon treated them.
With receptive patience.
And they provided clear explanations that anyone could understand.
So even if you're not a tech expert,
You can still feel comfortable and confident working with Paragon.
that's so important because technology can be intimidating for a lot of people.
It really can.
Huh.
So knowing that Paragon prioritizes communication and building trust,
It really reinforces their reputation for going above and beyond.
it does. But are you ready for some real-world examples of how Paragon has actually made a difference?
Oh, yeah. I love stories.
Me too. Let's hear them.
All right, so one that really stood out to me was about a local school that needed to set up a secure network for online learning.
Especially with everything moving online during the pandemic.
Exactly. Well,
Right.
Paragon not only built the network,
They also train the staff.
so they could manage and maintain it effectively.
It's more than just setting up the tech. It's about empowering the people who use it.
Exactly. It's about making sure everyone feels comfortable and confident with the technology.
And that's a fantastic example of how Paragon is investing in the community.
Making sure that everyone has access to reliable technology.
Because education these days, it relies so heavily on secure and stable digital infrastructure.
Okay, but this next story is even more dramatic.
Oh boy,
A small business got hit with a ransomware attack.
that's terrifying.
They thought they'd lost everything.
All their data gone.
But Paragon swooped in and saved the day,
They were able to recover the critical data.
which saved this business from potentially devastating consequences.
That's incredible.
It is, and then of course they helped the business implement measures to prevent future attacks.
So they're not just firefighters, they're also architects.
I like that analogy. They're building a stronger foundation so you're less likely to have problems in the future.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so we've seen how Paragon has built this amazing reputation.
For quality, reliability, and customer focus.
But what about the future?
Because technology is always changing, right?
It's constantly evolving.
So how is Paragon staying ahead of the curve?
Well, one thing that jumped out at me was their expansion into cloud solutions.
The cloud seems like it's everywhere these days.
It is, and Paragon is not just offering basic data storage,
They're specializing in different types of cloud solutions.
tailored to specific business needs.
So they're really trying to understand what each business needs and find the right cloud solution for them.
Exactly. And they're also diving deep into the world of AI-based cybersecurity tools.
AI, that's a whole other level.
It sounds like they're not just fixing problems, they're actively trying to anticipate and prevent them.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. They're really shaping the future of tech support.
Okay, but before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Aha! Right? Let's come back to the present.
let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned about Paragon so far.
What are the key takeaways for you?
Well, for me, it's the combination of their deep technical expertise.
They really know their stuff.
They do, but they also have this genuine commitment to customer service.
And they want to make a positive impact.
They're not just fixing devices. They're empowering individuals and businesses.
To use technology effectively.
Exactly. They're helping people navigate the complexities of the digital world.
And I think their dedication to staying ahead of the tech curve is really commendable.
They're always learning, always growing.
Because in the tech world, if you're not moving forward...
You're falling behind.
Exactly. Right. So we've talked a lot about Paragon.
Their services, their values, their impact.
So now let's turn it over to you, the listener.
Because the real question is, how does all of this apply to your life?
What can you take away from all of this information?
Think about your own tech needs and vulnerabilities.
Are you doing enough to protect your data?
Are you prepared if a tech emergency strikes?
Do you have a trusted tech partner you can rely on?
These are some important questions to consider.
And we'll continue this fascinating deep dive into Paragon PC Repair in our next episode.
Precisely.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive on Paragon PC Repair.
You know, it's amazing how much we covered in that first part.
I know, right? We talked about mobile repairs, business IT solutions. We even got into penetration testing.
It's clear that Paragon has a lot to offer.
They really do. And what I find really impressive is their dedication to their clients.
Oh, absolutely. It shines through in all the details.
Yeah, they go beyond just fixing a computer
They really want to empower people.
to use technology effectively, both individuals and businesses.
What's really fascinating to me is how they bridge that gap.
Between those really complex technical issues,
And everyday users.
because not everyone's a tech expert,
Right. But Paragon makes technology accessible and understandable.
no matter what your level of expertise is.
That's a rare skill.
You know, it makes me think about how Paragon is doing so much more than just repairs.
It's bigger than that.
They're shaping how we interact with technology as a whole.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah,
You know, as we become more reliant on technology,
which we definitely are.
companies like Paragon,
Well,
they're becoming essential,
Almost like partners.
making sure our digital lives are running smoothly.
That they're secure and accessible.
And it's not just about individuals and businesses either. Remember that story about the local school?
Oh yeah, the one where Paragon set up their secure network for online learning.
They're making a real difference in the community.
Empowering students to learn and grow in this digital world.
And don't forget about those businesses that were hit with cyber attacks.
Paragon was there to help them recover.
It's clear that they're on the front lines of cybersecurity.
Protecting sensitive data and helping businesses stay afloat.
Okay, so we've seen how Paragon has impacted individuals, businesses, and communities.
But what about the future?
Because technology never stands still, right?
It's always changing.
So how is Paragon adapting? What trends are they seeing?
Well, we touched on their cloud solutions earlier.
Yeah, they're not just offering basic data storage anymore,
They're specializing in different types of cloud solutions.
like SaaS and IaaS.
Now, those are some terms I haven't heard in a while.
Huh? I know, right?
Yes.
SaaS, IaaS. It can get confusing.
Can you remind us what those are and why they matter?
Okay, so think of IaaS as renting the building blocks for your IT infrastructure,
Okay, so like the servers, storage, networking.
all hosted and managed by Paragon.
So businesses don't have to invest in all that expensive hardware.
Exactly. And they can scale their resources up or down as needed.
So it gives them flexibility.
Lots of flexibility. Now, SaaS is different.
Okay, how so?
It's more about delivering software applications over the internet.
So instead of installing software on your computer.
You access it online.
Ah, okay, so like project management tools or CRM platforms.
You got it. And Paragon partners with leading SaaS providers,
So they offer a curated selection of solutions.
tailored to each business's specific needs.
It sounds like they're taking a very strategic approach to the cloud.
They're not just offering generic solutions.
They're trying to understand what businesses really need.
To thrive in a cloud-based world.
You also mentioned AI-based cybersecurity tools.
Right. AI is changing everything.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It can be, but
Exactly.
basically Paragon is using AI to detect threats,
So their AI algorithms can analyze tons of data.
looking for patterns that might indicate malicious activity.
So it's like having a super-powered security guard.
Who never takes a break.
And it can spot things that humans might miss.
Absolutely. And what's even more amazing is that these AI systems, they can learn and adapt.
So they get smarter over time.
Exactly. So they're constantly improving their ability to detect new threats.
It sounds like Paragon is really at the forefront of this technology,
They're not just keeping up with the times, they're anticipating the future.
of tech support and cybersecurity.
And that commitment to innovation is something we can all learn from.
So how can our listeners apply these insights from Paragon to their own lives?
I think it's about being proactive,
With our technology,
taking steps to protect our data,
staying informed about those emerging threats,
and finding those trusted partners who can help us.
navigate the ever-changing digital world.
You know, this conversation has made me realize something.
What's that?
Technology is intertwined with every aspect of our lives now.
It's not just a separate domain anymore.
It's woven into everything we do.
And that means we need to be more intentional about how we use it.
Being mindful of both the benefits and the risks.
It makes you wonder, what does it even mean to be tech-savvy these days?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is it just about knowing how to use the latest gadgets?
Or is there something deeper?
Something more fundamental.
That's a question that deserves its own deep dive.
Uh-huh. Maybe someday.
But for now, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay, sound good.
We've seen how Paragon approaches individual tech support and business solutions.
But we haven't really talked about their pricing.
That's an important consideration for anyone thinking about using their services.
From what I've seen, they have a pretty transparent and flexible pricing model,
Yeah, it seems like they offer different options.
depending on the issue and the level of service required,
So, for example, they have flat fees for common repairs.
like screen replacements or virus removal.
But for more complex issues, they might charge an hourly rate
And for businesses, it sounds like they offer custom plans.
based on the specific needs of each client,
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
which I think is really important, especially for small businesses,
Who might have limited budgets?
but still need access to reliable tech support.
It shows that Paragon is committed to building those long-term relationships.
They want to be a partner, not just a quick fix.
But what about emergency situations?
Like if a business's server crashes in the middle of the night.
That's a nightmare scenario.
It is. But luckily, Paragon offers 24/7 emergency support for their business clients.
So no matter when a problem arises,
They have a team ready to respond,
that peace of mind must be invaluable.
especially for businesses that rely heavily on technology.
It's all about minimizing downtime and keeping things running smoothly.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered pricing and emergency support.
But let's talk about something else I found interesting.
What's that?
Their commitment to sustainability.
Oh, that's great to hear more and more companies are prioritizing this.
From what I've read, Paragon is very mindful of their environmental impact.
In what ways?
Well, they prioritize e-waste recycling,
That's important.
and they use energy-efficient equipment.
So they're reducing their carbon footprint.
And they even encourage their clients to adopt more sustainable practices.
It's great that they're taking a leadership role in this area.
It shows that they're not just focused on profits.
They care about the planet, too.
It makes you realize that sustainability is everyone's responsibility.
Businesses, individuals, we all have a role to play.
And Paragon is setting a great example.
They really are. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
What stands out to you the most about Paragon?
honestly, it's their ability to combine their technical expertise
Which is obviously very strong.
with their genuine commitment to customer service and community engagement.
They're not just fixing computers, they're building relationships.
They're empowering people
Yeah.
and making a real difference.
I think that's why they've been so successful.
People are drawn to their authenticity.
And their genuine desire to help.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this second part.
We talked about cloud solutions,
Yeah.
AI-powered cybersecurity, their pricing structure.
Their commitment to sustainability and their impact on the community.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, and I'm excited to hear your final thoughts.
Me too, but first let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
When we come back, we'll wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts and actionable takeaways.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's been fascinating exploring all the ins and outs of Paragon PC Repair.
I agree, and I'm really impressed with what we've learned.
They're definitely setting a high bar for other tech companies.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Let's talk about some key takeaways.
the things our listeners can actually apply to their own lives.
What are those big lessons we can all learn?
Well, I think the first one is the importance of finding a trusted tech partner.
Because whether you're an individual struggling with a slow computer or a huge corporation dealing with complex cyber threats,
You need someone you can rely on,
for expert advice and support.
especially in today's digital world. It's kind of like having a trusted mechanic or a reliable doctor.
You want someone who knows what they're doing, someone who has your best interests at heart.
Exactly. And what Paragon shows us is that a great tech partner goes beyond just fixing problems
They empower you to really understand technology.
and to use it effectively.
So they're not just putting out fires
They're helping you build a strong foundation.
for your digital life.
Now, the second takeaway, and this is crucial in today's world, is the importance of proactive cybersecurity.
We can't just wait for something bad to happen.
We need to take steps to protect ourselves and our data.
It's like having a good security system for your home.
You don't wait for a break-in before you install an alarm or reinforce your doors.
You take precautions to prevent those threats.
Exactly. And in the digital world, that means staying informed about new threats, creating strong passwords,
Using multi-factor authentication.
and being cautious about the websites you visit and the links you click.
It's an ongoing process. It's not a one-time thing.
And if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed,
That's where a trusted tech partner can really help.
they can assess your vulnerabilities, recommend the right security measures.
And provide ongoing support to keep you safe online.
Okay, so the third takeaway I want to highlight is the importance of continuous learning and adaptation.
Because the world of technology is constantly evolving.
And we need to evolve with it.
It's like learning a new language or picking up a new skill.
You can't just rely on what you learned in school or even a few years ago
You need to be constantly expanding your knowledge and your skills.
to stay ahead of the game.
That means being open to new ideas
Experimenting with new technologies.
and always looking for opportunities to learn and grow.
And that's the spirit that will help us thrive in this digital age.
You know, Paragon really embodies that spirit.
Their dedication to innovation is inspiring.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Paragon PC Repair,
What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I think it's this. When it comes to technology, you don't have to go it alone.
There are experts out there who can help you navigate the complexities, protect your data, and empower you to use technology effectively.
That's a great point. And Paragon has shown us that finding the right tech partner can make all the difference.
Between struggling to keep up and truly thriving in this digital world.
So as you go about your day, think about your relationship with technology.
Are you doing enough to protect yourself?
Are you using technology to its full potential?
And do you have a trusted partner to help you along the way?
Those are the questions we hope you'll consider.
As we conclude our deep dive into Paragon PC Repair.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious,